Hey TNT Adventure Fit students, Derek Toshner here coming to you with a video that's been a long time coming and wanted to get this up on YouTube. So these are the 3 big bang for your buck exercises that I put on all of the TNT Adventure Fit workouts. I think they're just a fantastic way to either warm up or cool down. And I've learned these from Gray Cook. He's one of the top physical therapists in the world. And so they benefit a lot of different problems we have with our society, particularly sitting down a lot. Like if we have a driving job or a desk job and we're kind of in this hunched over position all the time and our hip flexors are tight, these 3 exercises are going to help you out a ton. So the first one is the FMS Wall Sit. What we're going to do is sit down against a wall and we're going to put our feet in a butterfly stretch position. From there, I want to move my tailbone back to the wall, the middle part of my back, which is your thoracic spine, and then this knob on the back of your head, that's called your occipital protuberance, okay? So we don't want to tip our head back to the wall here. We want to smush back and get that knob back. So I'm going to scooch back. Now, if you're having trouble getting your tailbone and the mid back to the wall, you can maybe sit up on a stack of books. That might help you. You'll see some FMS videos put foam rollers under your knees. I prefer not to, because if you do this for the full 7 minutes, you'll notice your knees drop and you're gonna have a little bit better inner thigh flexibility there, okay? So the first thing we do is we take the stick and we bring our elbows back to the wall and we make sure our arms are at 90 degrees. So this would be too acute of an angle and this would be too obtuse. I'm looking for a 90-degree angle right here. From there, I'm gonna rotate above my head, okay? And the goal here is if I had like a watch on both wrists, I wanna smush that watch tight to the wall. So my watch tight to the wall, my elbows tight to the wall, if possible. I realize that some of you will not be able to do this at first, so excuse that. So I wanna be here, I wanna smush tight to the wall, and I'm going to press until I lock out my elbows, okay? And come down. When you lock out your elbows, try not to roll your shoulders forward. I call this corner here the pit of your arm, your elbow pit, okay? Not your armpit, but your elbow pit. You want your elbow pit rolling forward. You want to try to keep your elbow pit up to the ceiling, okay? So again, 90-degree angles. Here, press up and lock out, okay? You're going to do 5 of those. Once you have 5, take the end of your broomstick, put it in the middle of your hand, and smush your hand to the wall. Keeping your elbow locked and your wrist to the wall, raise your arm up as high as it'll go and down, sweeping it up and down 5 times each side. Now, if you're going up and you get stuck and you start to do this, that's not doing you any good. For every degree our wrist bends or our elbow bends, we're losing a degree of rotation out of our shoulder. So you want to make sure that your arm is as straight as possible through this motion. So if you're getting stuck, one thing you can do is come straight from the top and then come down, come up as high as you can, and then come straight from the top, come down, and then back up as high as you can. Eventually you'll be able to clear that motion and get the full range of motion. So you're gonna do 5 of the presses, 5 of the hand sweeps each side for 3 rounds. It takes you about 7 minutes if you take your time. And that's the first big bang for your buck exercise. Next, what's gonna feel great as soon as you come off the wall here is to stretch out the hips and rotate the thoracic spine in what we call a thoracic bridge. So from here, we're gonna get into a crab crawl position and we're gonna push our hips up skyward, making sure our knees track our toes. We don't want our knees to cave in as we're doing this drill here. So the knees track the toes. From here, I'm gonna think about wringing my body out like a rag. I'm gonna take my right hip, push it up and to the left, and I'm gonna take my left arm and reach it across and to the right, okay? It's gonna look like this here. Now from the back, I'm stacking my shoulders. So my left shoulder is gonna stack vertically over the top of my right shoulder as I reach, okay? I'm gonna look up and down, do some neck rotations. The other thing I wanna do is, again, take my elbow pit and roll my elbow pit. I know you can't see because I got a black shirt on, but roll my elbow pit toward my fingers. Okay, that's gonna lock my shoulder in place and help keep me stronger. If this is too intense for you, you can do kind of like a rib grab or a bow and arrow draw. where we lay down on our side, bring our knee up high, hold that knee down, and then I just like to think about drawing back a bow and arrow and reaching. I gotta move away from the wall here. These are obviously drills you can just do in your house, right? So out here, reach across, I'm drawing back a bow and lay my shoulder blade in my wrist as close to the ground as possible. And just reach back and draw again. Obviously, many of you will get stuck here, okay? And just with breathing, take a deep guttural breath, breathe out, reach through your fingertips and think about that shoulder blade sinking to the floor. And make sure you do both sides, okay? So again, either the thoracic bridge or the bow and arrow rib grab draw are great. Finally, the last exercise is called a passive leg lower. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go up to a wall where we can put one foot up the wall and the other foot through the door. Now we want the leg that's up to be straight, all right, on our heel, toe straight. Everything's straight here, nothing turned or bent or awkward. We also don't want to be so close to the wall. I mean, obviously I can get real close to the wall and do this drill. Well, it actually feels a little tight today. But if I was so close to the wall that like my hips were like cranked underneath, my tailbone was tucked and pushed up, that's like an awkward position to be, okay? So I want to be in a position where I can, have my hips, my sacrum down on the floor and my tailbone down on the floor, okay? The other thing is I want to be in a position where I can actually touch my calf muscle to the ground first before my heel. Here I can touch my calf and my heel is not touching, all right? I have very small calves. I know a lot of people say, oh, I need bigger calves because they keep touching your heel. No, you don't need bigger calves. You need more flexible hips is what you need, and that's what we're going to get through this drill. But this drill is also going to take off a lot of lower back tension. So I'm going to touch my calf to the ground, raise my foot up, keeping my leg tight, again, as high as I can without my hips coming off the ground, getting wonky, bending the knee, and then I'm going to lower it back down, touching my calf to the ground again. Raise it back up. The number one mistake people make here is they touch their calf to the ground, and then on the way up, they let their knee bend, okay? You have to keep that leg as straight as possible, touching the calf first, and then raise it up with that same sort of tension. And so as you get tired, it's okay to bend it and shake it out, and then just restart down, touch the calf, back up, down, touch the calf, and back up. Note if your toe starts to turn out as you're going down, probably a great sign of tight hip flexors. So go ahead and stretch those puppies out. Good way to stretch that is just by cupping your ankle and pushing your knee away, getting a good stretch here before attempting to do this drill. When you do this drill, you want to do 20 repetitions a side. Take your time. At first, it might take a while, okay? There's your big bang for your buck stretches. I hope it helped, and tune in next time.